Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today for Monday morning, November 30th. We are on the last day of Jumanji level 11. Oh, man, we made it through 11. Tomorrow's December 1st, last month of 2020. I'm the man they call Meathead, and joining us on Monday morning, as we always have on Monday morning, my favorite time waking up on a morning is Linda Kay in your cup. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, Meathead. Right on. We have this nice Thanksgiving break. Feeling nice and stuffed still. I went through all those leftovers the entire weekend. How about you?
So I worked another job on Thanksgiving, but the leftovers were sent home for me, and we've gone through a couple days of those. So yeah, it's we've had our fill as well. And speaking of our fill, I haven't had my fill yet of beating on the Bears. I mean, I know that's what Monday mornings are for, is just to run our mouth about how sad it is that it's the beatings that the Chicago Bears take from those Green Bay Packers.
Absolutely. Last night's game was tremendous for any Packers fan. So
Yeah,
I'm in a great mood.
I am too.
Always,
Yep.
we have that
And it
Packer
was
win
a
Monday morning.
Darnell Savage game. I mean, I was trying to make a play on Savage. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was just Savage. Defense scored. Darnell picked it twice. I mean, it's just, and the points at the end, those were charity points. All right. Well, let's talk wrestling, because that's what you got here for. We are going to do real quick touches on NXT and AEW before we really get into SmackDown. First off, on AEW, the moral of the story and the kind of the crux of the whole episode, Linda, was the contract signing between Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley. There is a match coming up this Wednesday, and it will be for the AEW Championship. Kenny, number one contender, and the winner of the Eliminator tournament is going to take on Jon Moxley for the AEW Championship. We're not going to get to talk to you Wednesday morning to do predictions, but what is your prediction that's going to happen when winter is coming this Wednesday night on AEW?
I mean, with all the shenanigans taking place, with Moxley getting attacked and whatnot, I mean, you got to believe Kenny Omega, the cleaner, is going to come on top. I mean, I know you and I discussed this, during that tournament, how much more of a, I mean, Kenny Omega is always, great one on top, so to speak, but it's just the entrance, the promo pieces, the new, he's just got some more shine
from North
to
Carolina.
him. Yes. It's got to be Kenny Omega. I mean, Jon Moxley, obviously a great star. He's been holding that title and, holding it strong throughout this year where we've just this strange, odd year and, making the most, the best of what he can do, going through the stands, carrying the belt. But I think this is time for Kenny Omega to get that title right now and do what he does with it. I don't know. I just see that happening.
One other thing I want to talk about, excuse me, I'm all choked up over that segment. One other thing I'd like to talk about is Taz choking. See what I did there? Choking out Cody Rhodes in the middle of the ring. Taz says, I want somebody from management, calls Cody out, and chokes Cody out in the ring. Team Taz looking for a little bit of respect.
Yeah, I mean, why not go straight to the top to try to get that respect? I mean, obviously there would be some repercussions from that, but Taz and Team Taz just showing their strength, showing how much stronger they can be now, with Will Hobbs on them, with them, and it's just, they're getting up there. I mean, they're going to make that FTW belt really mean something more and get more title shots because they're definitely growing and they're quite wicked. I mean, going for Cody like that, wow.
Sure. Okay, let's talk a little bit about NXT as well. The War Games matches are getting set up. Obviously, the pay-per-view is coming up this weekend. Here's the irony of this. Did you notice that I believe Tribute to the Troops is airing on the same night on Fox?
Right, but I think it said check your local listings, so maybe it might be during the day, but I got to check my local listings and see. But yeah,
you and I have different local listings, which is ironic.
Yes. Isn't it ironic?
Don't you think that the four-man team of Pat McAfee, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Adam Cole and Rodham, excuse me, I got them all crossed up. Let's try that joke again.
I know what you meant.
Don't you think the four-man team of Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish are coming into this thing hot as the faces and still may not have a shot against this even hotter four-man team from Pat McAfee?
Yeah, I mean, I think well, with the exception of a couple of people who will always root for the heels, I think for the most part, the NXT fans, including myself, are going to root for Undisputed Era because the way they've been verbally and physically attacked, and then making their big return back in NXT and going after McAfee and his crew, you definitely want to see Undisputed Era come on top. But I don't know. Again, just going to go along with my theory of which faction has more light on them, more
Sure.
momentum, more mic time, more airtime. Got to go with Pat McAfee and his crew because them too are definitely growing stronger, and they are definitely making it known to everyone, not just Undisputed Era, but everyone in NXT, what they plan on doing. So
Well, the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne wins the advantage match, which UE had never lost before. They had the advantage in every one of the War Games. Not this time. Pete Dunne wins it for Team McAfee, so they will have the man advantage when War Games starts off for them this Sunday. So, and again, we will get Pat McAfee in the ring participating. Your thoughts on what we're going to see from Pat McAfee round 2?
I think he's going to be the last one to get in there. I mean, and him and Adam Cole just going to go straight at it.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, we wanted to do quick touches on NXT and AEW. Now let's talk about what happened on SmackDown Friday night. I believe we're going to have a new number 1 contender. And he kept talking into the camera on TV while Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman were in the background. It's Kevin Owens. It's the KO show. And, for the PWR fantasy draft, I'm happy to have him. I don't see him winning anything off of Roman Reigns. But right now, the next contender up for Roman Reigns looks like it's KO.
Right. I mean, me too. I don't foresee him winning the title at TLC, but the two of them will definitely put up a very physical, pretty brutal match, I can imagine. And we've got a couple weeks to kind of build that matchup, and I want to see some more or some actual face-to-face interaction between Reigns and Owens. And I'm also curious to see, obviously Jey Uso did not succeed in his match against Owens on SmackDown, but and the way Reigns is still treating and speaking to Jey Uso, not in the nicest ways. You got to imagine there's got to be more Uso involvement, whether it's good or bad in that match.
Let's talk about Talking Smack that happened on Saturday. Did you see it at all? Did you happen to read about it?
I actually didn't see it. Sorry.
There's some weird weekend. There's some weird vibes coming off of Paul Heyman. Like maybe Paul Heyman owes Roman Reigns something and he's treating Paul Heyman the same way, because this is not the same Paul Heyman that we had when he was the advocate for Brock Lesnar, because now he's the private counsel or the selected counsel, whatever the counsel term is that he uses when he's with Roman Reigns. Roman is definitely in charge of this whole relationship, but it's odd because you got a sense of Paul was always there taking care of Brock. Brock would always look out for Paul. But in this relationship here, Roman just dillygaff. Does it look like he gives a about Paul Heyman? And, the way he talked about Kevin Owens, he talked like a scared little puppy.
Yeah, I mean, even just the way he projects his voice, his speech. I mean, obviously, with the exception of when Roman Reigns was screaming at Jey Uso leading up to their Hell in a Cell match, Roman Reigns, very soft-spoken, very calm. And that's the Paul Heyman we get right now for the most part. Just very quiet, very calm, barely speaking. He's pretty much Roman Reigns' puppy right now.
Yeah, like a scared little puppy. We don't need him to wet the ring.
Right. I want the Paul Heyman that shouts in the mic. And I know there's no audience to speak to, but you want to hear his own intro. My name is Paul Heyman. And you just want the Paul Heyman we all learn to love and know. So it is a little bit odd. I mean, I get, this is a different Roman Reigns, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. So you got to obviously push.
The t-shirt told us he was the head of the table.
Yes, it did. But you know what? Now we have Kevin Owens saying he's there at the head of the table and waiting. So I think
and sat at the commentary table at the head. That was pretty cool.
Yep.
Well, again, happy to have Kevin Owens on the team. So that way I'll get some specialty match points, hopefully, and I'll get some, appearance and match. I don't think I'm getting a title win, though. But, yeah, you can hold out faith. Speaking about holding out faith, Sami Zayn, while he continues to tell people that he holds out faith and he's been the victim of circumstance here and there, it seems to be sneaking out win after win after win after win. Sami Zayn defeats Daniel Bryan via countout.
Yeah. He always just finds a way, that sneaky fella. Doing this for the people. I think that him holding on to that Intercontinental title is brilliant right now. A lot of fan support. And, anybody he faces, he finds his way around them. So I think this is just more of a great run right now for Sami Zayn. And I think he'll retain that title for a couple of months leading into that WrestleMania season.
I was going to say, and I want to speak on that too, because if he's going to, the shenanigans have to get bigger and deeper. He has to keep running, because what he's doing now, he's the cowardly heel that is sneaking out wins, not by, any proper means. He has to cheat his way out of it. So when he eventually drops that belt, we needed to drop it to somebody to get all that, I don't want to say heat, but to get all that energy coming off of that, because they finally got past the dastardly Sami Zayn and his neckbeard. When is that going to happen, and who's it going to be?
Can it lead us all the way to WrestleMania?
But what's that white hot, white heat face that's going to do that? There isn't anyone.
If we're going to rehash it with Daniel Bryan, I think that would.
Okay. You can bring it back around full circle. Sure.
Yeah. Because, with exactly what happened this year as a whole, let's just bring it right back and, have this feud take place a year later. Yeah.
And again, another team that I don't want to see lose the belt anytime soon are my boys, the Street Profits. They keep on winning, and they defeat Ziggler and Robert Roode on SmackDown.
Well, I'm glad that they did get that win. I know they just got that win off my boys, the New Day, at the pay-per-view, but again, title doesn't change hands. But, it's just interesting to see Ziggler and Roode, doing their thing right now. And I don't know if this was ever touched on at any of the previous podcasts. I don't think so, but I get that Ziggler and Roode are a tag team. Sorry to switch topics a little bit, but I don't like him having that leather jacket with him. I know that they're meant to be a tag team, but how can you let go of that robe?
Right. And then he had to move the jacket to let you know that he was glorious on his butt.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Sorry. I digress, but
you're not wrong.
But yeah, Street Profits, I love them too. It's great to see that momentum keep on going. With the draft that recently took place, I want to see which other top tag teams Street Profits can have a run with on SmackDown, because
what tag teams?
Exactly. Exactly. So
when they were drafted, were they told to go get blue kicks and some blue unis or some blue wrestling gear?
No, I expect once they go through all those red Solo cups that they'll change to blue.
Well, they got the big blue one because that's what Montez comes out with, but they still have the cannon loaded with all the reds. When they make it to Tropicana Field next week, do you think they'll have it loaded with blue cups?
That's not a bad thought. Why not?
Yep, not this coming Friday, but the Friday after will be the first show, Thunderdome, moving to Tropicana Field. Now, again, we talked about this a couple times. How long will that last? Because baseball season is right around WrestleMania time. They usually start the opening of the season about the third or fourth week, I'd say around the mid-20s, like 25th-ish of March. So they got to be out of there by then.
Well, I know you, Dave, talked about it too, but hey, that rolls right into WrestleMania, and with new developments coming out pertaining to
last night they had 500 people allegedly at Lambeau Field.
Yes, it was their testing to see how they could run.
Got to hear the jump around at the 2-minute warning
safely. yes, but hopefully by then we can increase capacity at venues and just get more live events going. It's leading right up to WrestleMania, so
I just had it. Damien used to give me such a hard time about this. Damien, I hope you hear this, but Tony Schiavone, when he was running Nitro, used to say, "We are in a capacity crowd." Last night they had a capacity crowd at Lambeau.
That is very true.
I mean, if they were allowed 500 and 500 were there, we have a capacity crowd here at Lambeau Field while this ass whipping of the Bears continues. Sorry, excuse me. Bianca Belair defeats Natalya. She looked strong. She looked real strong, beating on the boat, the best of all times. In the aftermath, the Victorious Blair exchanged a little trash talking with Bayley. Is there a program there with Bayley, or is it going to be a three-way? Sasha, Bianca, and Bayley.
I think right now we'll get the three-way, just kind of help build up Bianca a little bit more on SmackDown. Obviously, she's great. We've obviously seen her on different programming this year, and on NXT, but just recently being on SmackDown, I think it currently would be that three-way. But Bayley and Bianca, that's pretty stellar. I think that one would be a good one down the line.
Murphy defeats King Corbin, and again, the face team keeps cheating on behalf of their friends and family. I don't like it.
I don't get it.
It doesn't make any sense. King Corbin didn't wrong them so dastardly that they should be doing that.
Yeah. He was facing him because Otis got attacked, so King Corbin was ready to face Otis, and then it was like a reverse situation. Yeah.
I'm ready to move on from that now too, and I know we complained about Rollins being involved with the Mysterio family. By the way, did you see the picture of him and Becky?
No, I didn't.
Oh, what a great picture!
Okay, sorry,
it's a Mama's about to pop kind of picture, like a pregnancy picture of Seth and Becky together, and she's showing off the bump. Amazing picture. Loved it. Kevin Owens defeats Jey Uso by disqualification, but really this is to set up Kevin Owens calling out Roman and saying, come down. You want to talk? Let's talk. I'm at the head of your table right now. This is setting Kevin Owens up for the main event at the next pay-per-view.
Right. I mean, I know we touched on it earlier, but I think we can get a really good match at the pay-per-view. Again, not sure if titles will change hands next month, but I mean, leading up, KO. I mean, I am glad he's getting the spotlight again, because for a while, we got him on both shows. Was he a face? Was he a heel?
Yeah.
Now we know.
Hell, is he a commentator on NXT?
Yeah, exactly. So this is great to see. Again, I think they're going to give a really great physical match for us at the next pay-per-view at TLC. And leading up, stipulations. We'll see what kind of stipulation we'll get for them. And anyone will be brutal, and it should be a great one.
Yeah. I got one thing I want to sidetrack, but not really. Did you listen or even hear the call from the Tyson Roy Jones Jr. fight with Morrow? Morrow was calling the pay-per-view with Snoop Dogg DJing the whole time. Did you see anything from last Saturday?
I saw pieces of it. Honestly, I was watching UFC Fight Night, but but I did see some clips of it. I wasn't able to catch much of it. But
if you're missing Morrow from NXT or from SmackDown when he did SmackDown, he was clowning so hard. He goes, "Mamma mia!" That boy got knocked out. And Snoop Dogg just singing the hymns while, and again, I apologize, I don't have the name in front of me, but the dude from the NBA fighting the YouTuber, oh my gosh. He got knocked like Debo. He got knocked out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull up all the highlights. I did see.
I implore you to listen to that call. That's the one I want you to listen to.
So with Jake Paul and
he got knocked down 3 times, but dude, every time he got knocked down, because Morrow was calling the fight, and it wasn't fair. He just knocked the F out.
Yeah, well, Morrow's so good. Like I did catch that Mayweather Conor fight.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just remember how great he was on there, and obviously in NXT, but hearing him on the boxing side, and now I definitely have to catch Saturday's audio, because I mean, there's got to be some comedy in there from what you're telling me. I must see it.
I didn't like the hip hop music, or the music in general, just playing over all the matches. I mean, you could have turned that down during the match, but wow. Hey, let's talk about Raw real quick before we go this morning. There is a main event tonight. It's going to be Riddle, Lee, and Styles with the opportunity for the WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre. Who do you got?
I got to go with Keith Lee.
Keith Lee, really?
Yeah, I don't think any titles will be changing hands anytime soon off McIntyre, but I just
McIntyre's white hot again.
Yeah, I just he's the big guy, and we want someone more. I was gonna say more believable against Drew, because I mean nothing since Riddle, but I just
You
don't
don't think
think
AJ's believable against?
No, I was gonna get to.
Oh, okay.
Why AJ too. I was gonna say Riddle first. Like, not like I don't think it's believable. I just feel like there should be some more build up to it.
Okay.
Keith Lee and Drew McIntyre have little bit of history-ish from this year, so that could work. And obviously, previously in NXT, but we have AJ Styles as well, who has had a lot of different chances this year recently. So I just feel like you got to build up something new and have it be a Keith Lee Drew McIntyre feud. Especially since we thought maybe Sheamus might be the next in line with that, just because they've been highlighting their previous friendship. I think this is something we can kind of do between Lee and McIntyre.
And there's a possibility of Braun. Currently, he's suspended right now, according to the show. How does Braun work his way into that? I mean, Braun and Drew could do something too.
Right. Another big guy, so
yeah,
that could be something. But just for the match night, I got to go with Keith Lee.
Okay. All right. Well, that was a nice and crisp 20 minutes. Linda, thank you for joining me all year long. We have finished November. Today's November 30th. It is over. Tomorrow, when we talk to David Hero, we'll be in December. We'll be 25 days away from Christmas, 31 days away from the end of 2020, and hopefully on our way to a better 2021. So for Linda Kay, I'm the man they call Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.